Welcome back, everyone. It's Dr. Littner, and we are still on the cardiovascular system, but we're focusing on the heart. Now, in the next few slides, I want to show you that although the heart is responsible for pumping blood to other parts of the body and finding a way to get the deoxygenated blood back to the heart so that the heart can pump it to the lungs to pick up oxygen, to bring it back to the heart so the heart can pump it to all parts of the body. That concept is also true for the heart itself, where the heart is pumping blood to itself because the heart is a muscle. It needs energy, needs glucose, needs ATP. We need oxygen, has mitochondria. That's where the ATP is produced. So we need blood and oxygen to be driven to the myocardium, but then once the oxygen is emptied there and it's utilized, we have to find a way of getting the deoxygenated blood back to the heart, right? So blood flow through the coronary arteries, they originate off of the ascending aorta. Okay, so here's the aorta. If we were to remove this pulmonary trunk, we'd be able to see very clearly off the ascending aorta. We'd be able to see the left and right coronary arteries coming off of that. So the coronary arteries are going to deliver oxygen, oxygenated blood, and nutrients to the myocardium. The coronary veins are going to remove the carbon dioxide and the waste from the myocardium. And all of the veins of the heart will find a way to converge into the coronary sinus, which is on the posterior part of the heart, and dump the blood back into the right atrium. So here on the left-hand side, we have an anterior view showing the coronary arteries. And on the right-hand side is an anterior view of the coronary veins. Okay, and you could see when it's really bright and dark red, we're looking at it from the front, but you can also see the faint lighter red, which is more on the posterior. Same thing is true here on the right-hand side where it's dark blue, it's what we see in the front, and then fainted and tinted light blue is what we'd be seeing on the posterior side. Okay, so let's see if I can change the color here. Let's see if I can make it, let's make it green here. So here's the ascending aorta, and we said off the ascending aorta is where the right coronary artery, right here, there's many branches off of it, and the main left coronary arteries are. So those are the main branches, right? But then off of that left coronary, there are some other branches. It just kind of changes their names a little bit. So off that left coronary, when we follow it down to the front, we can see the anterior interventricular artery coming right down this way. Off the right coronary artery, we could see that we have a marginal branch that comes off this way. Along the posterior side, coming around off that left coronary, there's a circumflex branch that kind of goes around and wraps around. Okay, and then we can see this right coronary artery coming around, and it too wraps around to the posterior side. Now there's an anterior interventricular artery, and then there's a posterior interventricular artery. Now on the venous side, we have a small cardiac vein here. We have an anterior cardiac vein here. We have a middle cardiac vein right here. That would be on that posterior side. And then we have this great cardiac vein. And if you look at this great cardiac vein, it's going this way, it's coming around to the posterior, and all of these veins are going to find its way right here into that coronary sinus. And where does the coronary sinus enter? The right atrium. Okay, it's going to enter here into the right atrium, deoxygenated blood. Okay, when we come back, we're going to look at the conduction and the EKG.